For decades, Pioneer Car Electronics have been supporting automotive events nationwide like Joe's Minibike Reunion. No matter what you drive, Pioneer's got the gear to upgrade your ride so that it sounds better, and it connects you to the latest in technology like Android Auto, Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, and the popular Alexa. Remember, don't break up with your car, upgrade it with Pioneer. Check them out at pioneercarelectronics.com.
This is the Candyman from Studs Racing. We've got tires, and tires. We've got big ones, small ones, street ones, off-road ones. Oh my God. Why do we have so many tires? Tires. We have so many son of tires. Tires. Come on and get your tires.
Oh my God, we got so many tires.
Tires. Come see us. Dearborn Heights, Michigan, studsracing.com.
Hey everybody, I'd like to give a special Joe's Minibike Reunion welcome to our friends at Yoshimura. Yoshimura can be reached at yoshimura-rd.com. They're going to be live at Joe's Minibike Reunion giving away some cool systems. They also have a lot of promotional opportunities that you could take advantage of, including their expertise about product design and R&D. Yoshimura-rd.com. Check them out.
I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work. Check.
Hey everybody, welcome to this special JMBR post-event podcast. We're also going to throw in a little bit of the background noise that took place with the SEMA Ignited event, which was Minibike history. And you can ask anybody who was a part of it about all the juicy details. And we're also going to catch everybody up on Steve's ride around Las Vegas. I'm your host, Joe Sebergandio, and this is not quite our last podcast of the year. We'll typically do like a holiday special. We'll find out when these schedules open. And I want to begin the podcast by dedicating this podcast to my mom. My mom recently passed away, and she's in a better place now. So I would be remiss to not bring that up. Love you, and we'll see you on the other side. Hey, everybody. So we had a great JMBR. I want to begin there. I'm a tough one on myself, and we did better than I thought we would do. A lot of you guys were saying, hey, Joe, I know this is going to be a really big event this year. Oh, I can tell, I can sense it. I can tell by the people that I'm talking to or the chatter online. But I needed to see it for myself, and we did. We did it together. Thanks to all the participants who brought their bikes out. Thank you to all the spectators who came and checked out the show. Obviously, a big shout out to all of our exhibitors and our sponsors, our staff. I would like to thank Linda and Nikole and Dave, as well as Jerry and Corey. Those guys were my core, as always. Thank you for being there from the beginning until the end, and we're still going. I also want to give a shout out to our friends and sponsors at Pioneer Car Electronics, where we remind you, don't break up with your car, upgrade it with Pioneer. And our friends at Yoshimura, since 1954, those guys were showing strong at Joe's Minibike Reunion. We got a big vote of support and confidence from Big E. So thank you, Big E. You small bore guys may have seen their new Navi system, as well as their new Grom dual. I think it's the TI system. Check them out at yoshimura-rd.com for more. Once again, that's yoshimura-rd.com. Also want to give a shout out to our friends over at Studs Racing. Eric was with us out in Las Vegas. Eric, thank you. And I want to say, is it Ted? I'm bad at names, but he brought out some really cool guy who is a part of the Studs family who joined us out there. And I know he left his family to be a part of it. So Eric, all the effort that you made, you brought your drag bike out. Everybody was digging that. Thank you so much. Our friends over at Go Power Sports, Taylor. In fact, Taylor's got a big event coming up this week. It's all the details and all the inside skinny can be had at gopowersports.com. It's this Saturday. Taylor was online. They were marking off the course. Hello, Tim, and all the staff at Go Power Sports who came out and captured not only a lot of good video that I'm sure you guys will be able to see on their website and their social media outlets, but also they came strong at SEMA Ignited. And they were huge at SEMA. Indoors, outdoors at SEMA, outdoors at SEMA Ignited, promoting mini bikes, raffling off the Little Rascal. People were digging everything that they had, the complete bikes. They were selling kits. It was amazing. Steady Garage. Thank you guys for rolling out, Ray and Kevin and family. Kevin trying to smuggle his kids into the SEMA show. You should have seen him. He had them covered up in blankets. I think you may have called attention to it when you tried to bring him in through a stroller, though, Kevin. That may have been one giveaway. But Ray, thank you for coming out and your team. Big shout out to Bing, Honda Grom Lifestyle, for being a part of not only Joe's Minibike Reunion, helping as a judge, but also being a big ambassador. Thank you so much, Bing, and all the Honda Grom Lifestyle friends that rolled out to Joe's Minibike Reunion. Boy, when those guys came in, it was awesome. You could feel it. You could sense it. It was a big lift. We probably had, if you count all the bikes that were there, including those that were behind the booths, we were touching 300. And for those of you who were with me in the beginning, when we had more signs than we had mini bikes, if you looked around, we almost filled half of that park. And I'm not going to be happy till we fill that whole park. Thank you to, hey, we had food vendors. They showed up this time. Did they ever? Bruce Barbecue. E, thanks for your help there with Bruce. Thank you to our friends at El Don, the taco dude. He came strong. Those guys really enjoyed their food. That was nice. One less thing I had to worry about. A big shout out to my staff up front, Mikey, AJ, Ira, and a new addition, Mia. Thank you so much for holding down that front end when you came in. That ran pretty smooth. That was really clean and efficient. Thank you so much, our security, Uncle Joe. Clarence Barnes, our announcer and DJ. Check him out at iHeartRadio. I think he does like an 80s show. Him and Martha Stewart. Remember her, E? Martha Stewart from MTV fame. Check out Clarence Barnes on iHeartRadio. And I don't know. I left that show really feeling good. I don't think we had any legitimate complaints. And one of the ones that I have to lodge is the one against myself, because although I think we do a pretty good job, I still haven't grasped the fact that it takes a lot of time to hand out all those awards and trophies. And I still have trophies in my garage, as well as some plaques and some like Olympic medals that have not got to the rightful winners and owners. And it was not a priority for me after Joe's Minibike Reunion. In addition to some personal things, I also had to get ready for SEMA Ignited, which I can't wait to get into. I told you guys we're going to make history, and we did. We brought mini bikes to the big top. The biggest stage in the automotive industry is the SEMA show. And for those of you who came and brought your bikes, and those of you who came on Steve's ride, as well as those of you that came to SEMA Ignited, we're going to look back at this years from now and be proud of our participation there. So that was really good. We'll get into that a little bit later on. But for back to the show, the crowd was great. I think we had 30 exhibitors I'm going to try to remember them as you come in. I know that we had Dingo Moto. They were next to Go Kart USA. GTS dropped off the giveaway bike. However, they had some family issues, and unfortunately, Rafa and his team weren't able to come. But thank you, GTS, for giving away the roller, as well as the folks at Go Kart USA, Al, Mario, and team. Those giveaways were great. I think as you came up past Go Kart USA, we had Jake Moe from Mo Fabco. We had Sore Thumbs there. Let me take a peek at the floor plan now, because I definitely don't want to leave anybody out. We had Go Power Sports. We had Fast Lane Racing. Yeah, thanks. See, some of the photos that you see up there, the caliber of the bikes, amazing. F&B Racing was also up there. Thank you so much, Frank and Brian. Great to see you. We had Steady Garage on display. We had our friends over at 615, State to State. Ozzy was on display. In fact, Ozzy, thank you for your help, as well as Ernesto. Dre was on hand helping us out. We had a few other folks. I'm sure I'll get to you as we get into the podcast. But the other thing I want to compliment our team on is we did a great job. Oh, Long Beach Sprocket, thank you. You were another part of the judging team that we had there. Thank you. The judging takes a lot up, guys, and so do the trophies, and so do the giveaways. I've got to make it so that it's easier and cleaner. So I may do something like the top 25 or the top 12. In fact, just saying top 25 makes me shake. Like the top 12. Because again, to me, it's all about this. It's everybody getting together and talking. So we may reduce the number of trophies, but the prizes will keep on coming. And that's just me thinking now. Obviously, you guys can determine some of that as well. But we had a lot of great giveaways. We had a ton of trophies. If you won a trophy, if you recall, we were gathering after the photos, and I was taking names. And as luck would have it, I don't have the sheet. So if you won an award or a trophy, and I took your number, do me a favor, send me a note. It's joe@motormediainc.com. Joe@motor, M-O-T-O-R, media, M-E-D-I-A, Inc.com. How about this guy? I had a class for more than, 3 wheels? And not only did I not recognize the scope and the popularity of these go-karts, but the engineering. I mean, this guy, I want to say his name is Jacob Sherwood. I think so. This looks like my man Vincent Borelli, another young guy. Look at these bikes that they're building. I mean, and going back to that go-kart, I liked them. I didn't feel like I was prepared to accurately judge them, but we did, and I know that people were digging them. And then my daughter, Nikole, thank you. I want to give a shout out to Nikole and Dave as well. Nikole, particularly with the great photos that you're seeing up on the screen now. This is Yoshimura. Boy, did they show strong. I swear, when I saw that Yoshimura display, that's a visual to me that told me that this is more than just me doing some little event. This tells me it's a real show. And if you listen to Big E, he was very supportive. Fast Lane showing up big time. Cleveland. Lionel was out there. Congratulations to Big Daddy, Daryl Smith, for being inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is, look at those bikes. Those are some fast bikes. Cleveland did a great job with his bike. It was one of my daughter's favorites. I don't know if it was 24 karat gold or what. This is iMadira's list, or actually I should say row. iMadira swept Joe's Minibike Reunion, and I mean swept. I should have known something was up when I showed up the morning of the event, and they were there as early as we were, ready to go. And I had to pause them for a second. They were ready to move in. They drove, I'm not exactly sure, I want to say Northern Cal, and I want to have them as a guest on the podcast. And I say iMadira thinking that I really should know what the I stands for, but right now I don't. But iMadira and all of the bikes that came with him, they set up a rotating display. They were all lined up. Their bikes were not only the most unique customs, but they were like bikes I had never seen before. That there were trikes, and we have had non-traditional mini bikes win the People's Choice Award over the last few years. Jeff Wolf is an example of that last year. But now the trike that iMadira won, in fact, all of his submissions took up the top 3 People's Choice Award winners for 2022. So he swept. Congratulations to him. There were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of nice bikes. You talk about being embarrassed to only be able to give out, 24 or 36 trophies. Each of those bikes I would have loved to have owned. So thank you to you guys. Thank you for what you did, the time and effort that you put building these bikes, but transporting there. And I know you were digging it because everybody was having a good time. One of the other cool things that I saw was that the manufacturers were networking, like Go Power Sports, talking to studs. You guys may think they're competitors, but I say, no, those guys are just helping us feed the machine. And sure, they may sell competitive parts and may have competitive customers, but the reality of it is that those guys are really just icons in our industry. And when those two guys get together, and Taylor and Eric, I love that. I see Sam and all the guys that are a part of Joel and Van and Jocelyn, and these guys are talking to Go Power Sports guys, and now they're talking to the Go Kart USA guys, and they're talking to Jake Moe, and everybody's working together. So now they're collaborating, and Go Karts USA is supplying some products for the guys at Dingo, and Dingo won a frame, that roller that Go Karts USA was giving away, ironically, and now they'll put an electric engine on that. So the trickle down effect. Jake Moe built my custom American Racer that Mario and Al sent to me, and I always try to get Jake to, if I can get Jake to touch any of my bikes, I run to do it. So as soon as I got that bike, I gave it to Jake, and he's almost done, but he had on display, so you can see their stock American Racer, and then you can see the Jake Moe version, and just the play that got, that's on social media now. Look at this, fathers and sons. There's almost 3 generations again that show up at Joe's Minibike Reunion. So I loved all that too. It was a beautiful day. Many people talked about just how cool the backdrop is. It's CV Park, or La Crescenta Park. Those of you who are still asking me how to fucking get there. This is Chewy. I watched this kid grow up in front of my eyes. I think he's got he's got a football team on each side, one of those 11 hair mustaches now. He fired up that bike. They loved it. He's always parked under the tree. Great time. Shout out to my man, Mark Wing. Mark, always a good sport. We had a good time going back and forth. We know we mean it all in jest. But as you look through those photos, and we have a few more, I invite you to check out joesminibikereunion.com. We have a gallery there that's going to be growing. Nikole's helped us with the photos that you see there. If you guys have some photos that you'd like us to take a look at for the gallery, send them to me, or send them somewhere. Hey, before I get too far into this podcast, I want to give a special shout out, thinking of my friends in Daytona Beach, particularly Daytona Beach Shores, Port Orange, Edgewater, New Smyrna, Cocoa Beach, my friends Ralph and Mary. It was shocking just prior to SEMA, those guys that Hurricane Ian took out their home not completely, but all the walls, the floors, the furniture, the carpeting. It's just tragic what they're going through. They're struggling with getting insurance, devastated to say the least. Our prayers to you guys, as well as my friends Jim Kupshina, my buddy I was a bellman with, along with Ralph. Tina Rollins, she's out there. She's tough. It's going to take more than a hurricane to bother her, but we're thinking of you guys, my buddy Bob G., Ron and Dixie. These are all friends of us, me and Linda and our family. And they're out there in Florida, and Florida's been getting kicked around recently weather-wise. And obviously our family on the West Coast, right? So hang in there, everybody in Florida. Batten down the hatches over there. Christ. Also want to take a moment to touch on some final facts and figures maybe on JMBR. You know, I'm looking to secure it's usually the second or the third week. So I think it's the 14th or the 21st. I would hope it's the 14th of 2023 that we'll look towards. I typically can't get the parks to even return my call until like 6 months prior to. Here's Jake Moe. Jake, not only was he judging, but he brought the family out. He brought the business out. A lot of people ask me about the pipes that I have on my bikes. They're all Jake Moe pipes largely. I think I have a F&B on one of the others. But, you know, Jake's always there, not only doing the judging, but having a chance to give some tips and tricks to folks. There's my man, Corona Irving, floating around. He brought over an awesome two-stroke. In fact, in the background there, I think you'll take a look at that American Flyer that is stock. And at some point, I'll call out my bike. Yeah, we had, you know, I've had a couple of these in my time. I was a publisher of Sport Truck, and I got my hands on a couple of these. I think I gave them away. I don't know if I gave one to Jake Moe. I think that may have been a go-kart. But I've had these. So we did have a lot of, as you can see, the go-karts in the back. So we'll take more of a look at that. And maybe, hey, I've got a big park. Why not have an area that we highlight these types of four-wheel dynamos? I love them. I took a stab at racing at Jim Hall up in Ventura. And I would recommend that to anybody who's into that. Check them out, Jim Hall Racing. And it's amazing. My buddy Scott Timberlake. Scott, shout out to Scott. And my godson Ford, they rolled out. Scott was a 250 shifter champ. Right, Scott? You're damn right. Also want to give a shout out to many of you who reached out to me when my mom passed and I hadn't had a chance to get back to you. So thank you guys for that. You know who you are. The Duke, Danny Gorno, Mary Jo, Donnie George, a few others. So thank you for that. Yeah, there's the go-kart guru. I think it's Jack Sherwood. I'll check him out. I'll clarify that online. These are little, I don't know if that's a shifter cart or not, but yeah, look at, there's my buddy Scott right there on the bottom left there. People were hanging out. Good display. We actually were scrambling, trying to figure out where all the exhibits were going to go. And E, I didn't have you there this year. E was absent. People were asking about you. Ian Cordova, we were looking out for you. We didn't, but you know, that's how it happens. Sometimes you don't get to get out every year. There's my man David Altman, checking out that little bike. What is that? Could that be one of those RCFs? Oh no, this is Justin Betts. Yeah, that is an RCF. Justin Bett, thank you for all your help. He kicked ass over the last couple of years with his bikes. Came in with that nice little retro mod build. Oh no, that is. Where are those bikes? RMF, something like that. Justin will tell me. Justin, thanks for rolling all the way down there. Some other highlights of the show were all the giveaways. We stood up there. We gave away engines and 2 or 3 engines. We gave away all kinds of Pioneer car audio products. Let me just take a peek here. The thing that I liked the most was, this is a big hit. You know, we had a lot of drag bikes. Now, this bike, I don't know if it was just the down and dirty. It's got a tag on there. You know, if you had that yellow tag, it meant that you were to be judged. But this was a really popular drag bike. The guy had the Kobe Bryant jerseys on as well. Eastside Racing. They were all out there. Big Mike. I saw some of the OGs out there. They're kind of quiet. They hang out. They lurk low. But they were having a good time. Thank you to all the guys that rolled out, all the OGs, and you know who you are. Evil Ed rolled out. Evil Ed actually helped us like he typically does. And he, I think, picked the winning mini bike that went to maybe Joel over at Dingo Moto USA. Look at the seat work on this bike. So you just don't see this stuff everywhere. We're attracting. Look, if you're into the mini bike game, I'll say it. You got to be here. You got to be here next year. And again, it's not all about the judging by any means. Look at these scooters next to a high bar. It looks like a Z50. Good crowd. Everybody was having a good time too. You would have. You went to a wedding, right? Yeah. All right. So there's you get one pass. So you have to book your weddings around hold the 14th and the 21st of October for next year. A lot of CT70s came out. A lot of these SL70s, 175s, the bikes in the background, you can see that red one, that candy red. Way too cool bikes. Really exceptional quality in the back. You see Studs Racing on display. Studs came out there. Eric again shipped his bikes out from Michigan. Yeah, take a closer look at that. Sore thumbs, Alex new in the game, had some mini bikes out there. People were giving a good response. The dyno continues to be popular. So the dyno was, you had to pay to use the dyno. Prices go up. That's how it worked. And then about halfway through, I got with Big E. There's Mark Wing. There he goes. Mark recently had his leg amputated. And it's no laughing matter, but make no mistake about it, all he did was break his balls the entire time about it. But he was a good sport. A guy who showed up from Ventura. It was bizarre. Oh, there's, I think this is Cleveland's bike. One of Cleveland's bikes. Cleveland Flowers. All gold. Looks like a cat eliminator. Some guy showed up, put up an awning like he was an exhibitor, had a bike like he was a participant, and just started to pretend that, he was just there and, oh, yeah, the OGs. Talk about the OGs. Home Alone. Potter Vernell right there for you. You talk about fastest man around. Still the guy to beat if you ask me. He came up. He had a friend with him. Thanks for coming out, Home Alone. We appreciate that. But so the guy shows up, and nice enough guy. It's like, damn, he didn't buy a booth, but it's kind of bold. I'm gonna let him slide. I like that. He's got a bike there. Oh, this is Chue. Chue built an awesome little Z50. He was gonna present it to the new owner on site, but it didn't work out. But Chue was patient. Look at those boots. You can tell that boy rides. A lot of Groms, particularly a lot of Groms. In fact, check out that new kit that Yoshimura has for the Groms. I want to say I know it's a dual, the dual TI system for 22 and 23 Groms. Check them out at yoshimura-rd.com. Here's a little bit of the play action behind the dyno. Thanks, guys, for cooperating. Years ago, folks would get way too close, just like the current photo. But as long as your bike's in there, I'm not sure what the top horsepower this year is. I want to say it was 38 horsepower. So we'll find out. It was a big hit again. Coleman's came out. I've always had reserved my comments about the Colemans. The one thing I always said is that because of the availability and the affordability, they had more people get into the game. So they've gotten better. They've got a B2000. It's the thicker frame. You usually see it in orange. It looks like this. Full suspension, big tires. This style bike with a built engine flies. And I know because on Steve's ride around Las Vegas, the winner there was on one of these bad boys. Vaughn. Von Doe won a crisp $100 for being the fastest in what I call the pull start, but it's the fastest blank class, they call it. And those bigger bikes are starting to get my attention. So yeah, look at that Honda. That's a 100. Sweet little bikes. These guys are into CT70. That extra power in that 100 power plant, that's a little bit nicer than the 70. A lot of trikes. So again, that's a category that I didn't really spend a lot of time thinking of. Obviously, they're popular. You see in the background, see the exhibits. Studs had their bikes on display. Eric brought out there his wheels, his tires. Christ, if I hear that again. Jake Moe. Jake's real now. Oh, yeah, there's some of the detail. And Cleve's bike, the Louis Vuitton seat, the Jake Moe chrome pipe. Everything's chrome on that thing, or gold-plated. I don't know. If I had his money, I'd burn mine, I guess. Congratulations, Cleve. I think I also owe you a trophy or two. The goodie bag. Look, some of you guys actually break my balls that there's a fee, right? And the reality of it, in fact, let me get some of these comments. Hey, Jason, good to see you, Jason. Thank you for coming out. You put together some awesome bikes. In fact, I'm looking, keep your eye out for Jason Gavia, everybody, out of the AV with some of his builds. Ron Garman, thanks for watching. Dan Garcia, Red Jensen, Mark Wing. Did my show up? I don't know what you mean, Mark. It was a fun show. Thank you. Always good fun. Devin, hey, I met Devin Cooper in Vegas. Shout out to all of our friends in Vegas. George Yamanaka. George, thank you for judging the little Hondas. You always do a great job there. Be sure that someone's judging your bike, George, because if you should win, you should win. Irving, I missed you. Pay Irving and your family. Will see you next time. Dante, same here. Jim Savas. Hey, Jim Savas, that reminds me. Shout out to a lot of the old school guys that we were able to catch up during the SEMA show right before SEMA Ignited. You know, we like to go to a little special place out in Las Vegas. And I got to see not only Jim, but John Cobb. Who else? Brian Murphy. Oh, this dude is running up because he just won an engine. Matthew McGonaghy, I was calling him. He looked like that. Plus that dog, I thought the dog was going to bite me twice. But who cares? Big shout out to Jim, John Cobb, Brian. I don't know how he got stuck in that crummy table, but anyways. Oh, look at this. Paul, right? And Digger, a big shout out to my man Digger for helping out. Look at Digger on the left. You want to be a millionaire? Check him out. We'll give you Dean's Instagram handle. This is another example. Paul came out of nowhere with an engine to give away. This is my boy Ernesto. Ernesto just wanted to bring his bike in. I said, why don't you just enter? It's like $10 more. The odds will be like 1 in 300 to win something. He wins a $500 Yoshimura gift certificate, and he just bought a brand new Grom. So Ernesto's a great guy, and that's just karma. Big E, there's the other award winner. Look at the guy's hand. He's got a $500 gift certificate. So these guys gave away, I don't know, $1,500 worth of prizes, and so supportive. Thank you so much. Check those guys out. If you're in the mini moto scene or the two-stroke game, check them out, yashimura-rd.com. Also, our friends over there at our fancy restaurant that we like to go to, Bruce, Patty, and Timmy, thank you for all the hospitality over there. Shout out to Tom G., Mike Spagnola, Maurice, Bill, Eric, Margaret, some of the friends over at SEMA who helped us with SEMA Ignited. I had mentioned to many of you during, leading up to, and after Joe's Minibike Reunion, the podiums were a big hit. What I should have done is had them hold the trophies that I forgot to give them. So they're just so I got to figure that shit out. It's just getting too big. Part of the growth and part of this is, look at him, no trophies. There's the good doctor. Shit, I couldn't even tell you what the hell he won. Or the guy on the right, how cool. He showed up with some strong bikes. Just the caliber of the people who attended, whoever the hell they were, is just amazing. There's Digger lurking in the background. So Digger was supposed to be taking their names. There's a photo. Although I wish we can get him up. This is Evil Ed with one of the earliest Bonanzas out there. He's got a two-stroke on there. Ed was sporting the Bonanza shirt. He's got the Joe's Minibike Reunion stand. Good to see you, Evil Ed. This bike won the... We lost a good friend of ours, Rick Chu, of the La Crescenta community last year due to COVID. You can see Evil Ed in the background. And a guy showed up who knew him. And I asked that guy to walk around. In fact, here he is. I asked him to walk around and give a trophy to the bike that best reminded him of Rick Chu. And Rick used to cobble things together. He'd put a Hemi in a Roadster. He was always into engine swaps. And I asked the guy to go around and look for a bike that reminded him of something that Rick would like. And he came back and he said he just didn't find anything. And as I talked to him and as I looked at his bike, it's like, dude, it's you. Your bike, the one that you just crafted and cobbled up and put together, that's what Rick would do. You win the award. And that was fun to be able to do that. Again, there's Madeira, who won the People's Choice Award. Yeah, going back. So this is the guy who won the newly spirited Rick Chu Award, and that's just based on not only your spirit, but the spirit of either the bikes that you bring. In this case, used to always be the car shows that Rick would win. And rest in peace, Rick. All right, so we've been going through the photos. We show up in Las Vegas. Those of you who trusted me and came to SEMA Ignited. SEMA Ignited kind of worked like this. One day I got a phone call from SEMA, asked me to roll out to Diamond Bar, and I knew I was going to get canned. And that happens, especially after being a part of things for such a long time. So I rolled out there and met with them, and them being Tom G and Maurice. And I didn't get fired. I actually had an opportunity. They quizzed me about my interest in being a part of SEMA Ignited. Many of you know me because I host the SEMA Cruise, which was awesome this year. Me and my good friend Kevin Ostie. We probably had 30,000, 40,000 people out there. I still can't believe we get paid for having fun and breaking balls like we do. You know, that's really it. But we got invited to bring out a reflection or a thumbnail of the minibike scene. And I love that. Those of you who know me, I've always had a mini bike with me. These are some photos that you see now of SEMA Ignited. Well, when SEMA asked me to bring the mini bike scene out there, they also invited me to, take over some of the sales responsibilities to get some exhibitors at SEMA Ignited, which is the official after party of the SEMA show, and it's open to consumers. And there's a lot of cool things that happen there. There's driving activities, there's drifting, there's food trucks, there's music, there's entertainments, there's exhibitors. There's vehicles of all shapes and sizes. I was next to exotic Lambos, and then you'd run into lifted $100 brodozers like this, and then you'd see the coolest drift cars, and you'd see the coolest Broncos, and you also saw the mini bike contingent. Here's Sam and the folks over at Dingo Motos. Steady Garage was there on display. Las Vegas Mini Bikes. Bing. This was a setup that Steve helped me put together. That's my little monkey on the background. And we had a local dude that helped us out, brought us over one of those little small Honda pickup trucks. So we had that on display. We had Go Power Sports on display. Oh, yes. In fact, these guys, that's another thing that I like about breaking out, is that you get to meet new folks, right? Not only did I've known Glenn, who I always call Ray because of race, but Glenn I've known through Instagram for a while. I didn't know Braylene, who is Glenn's girlfriend, and helped him out a lot with this. But I didn't know Brad. Brad's with 702 Mini Bikes. So those guys came out representing locally Las Vegas. And this was a big thing, not only for a smaller group of guys like this who are building custom mini bikes, but they're right next to Studs, who's right next to Dingo, who's right next to Steady, who's right across from Steve, and the Go Power Sports guys are there. It was great because, here's my man Fred and Ernesto. Thank you, Fred, for helping out. Also, Jerry. Obviously, Jerry came out. A lot of you guys are knowing Jerry because he works JMBR, and now he's working with us over at SEMA Ignited. But we're all out there together, and we're all out there together talking and helping each other out. We got a chance to expose these mini bikes to a lot of folks that either we reminded them of back in the day, or a lot of younger folks who were digging them. Bikes were being sold. Who knows the commerce that was done? But I'll tell you one thing. We did find a place at SEMA through SEMA Ignited to show off the mini bikes and show off the mini motos. And that was the reason why I wanted everybody to roll out there. Many of you didn't come as an exhibitors, but you came and you showed up. I mentioned Ernesto, but there was a lot of others that did as well. Thank you for coming out. All the guys that came on Steve's ride, Rudy. We were with Johnny D. We were with many of the other folks that ride with us in LA. Thanks for all the guys who rolled up. This bike won Steve's Ride Round Las Vegas top bike. I think this is Mike's awesome Cub. That looks really, really good. That was one of about maybe 60 bikes that were at Carter Power Sports. This is a young kid who came. His parents were coming to SEMA. They're from Oregon, and he just tagged along because he heard about these rides. And he's got some naked Yamaha Zuma and he was great. He was winning all the little drag racing competitions that we had and the stunting exercises, and he came out of nowhere. This is Raul. In all these two-stroke events, there's always a pull start dude. This bike was the fastest bike out there. Make no mistake about it. And Raul is about 240 pounds, and that bike was just flying by everybody. This is Steve. Steve, congratulations. Steve, STIV_AWD, if you want to check him on Instagram. Steve did a great job putting on the ride. There you go. Steve owns Scooter Imports for all your hard-to-find scooters and parts. Steve can get them in and out of the country. He did a great job putting this together. That's my boy Jack and Mike. Jack came all the way up from Northern Cal, him and his brother Mario, to participate in Steve's ride. Some unique bikes. This is Steve's Moto Campo. These are like mini bikes inside of a box. Little Kickstarter. Hard to get. This guy just rolled up to be a part of things. I think he rolled up from SoCal. Stayed in the Airbnb with everybody. Didn't have a bike, and he ends up winning this very rare high-seat two-stroke scooter from the drawing. That thing's probably worth about $2 or $3 grand. This is Bing, our leader, Honda Grom Lifestyle. He got lucky at Steve's raffle, took home a bunch of parts. I don't know if those are clutch parts or what, but he was happy. Bing always does a great job. Once again, there's your winner. See that cool custom wheel? That was the trophy. That was a great idea for a trophy. In fact, just about everything that Steve did on this was really natural and thought out. This game came out of nowhere. This probably going to cost you 10, 12 grand minimum just to get into. I don't want to say it's a 400, but definitely was screaming, doing stoppies, doing wheelies. The scooter game was really strong here. This is an example. This looks like I'm trying to think whose bike this was, but it's always around. Shame on me for not knowing. He was with us throughout the whole day and night. Like I said, we probably had like 60 scooters. I love this bike. Now, this poor guy got a ticket for splitting lanes in Vegas on the way to the event. I love that paint scheme. It reminds me of Monte Carlo. This is Vaughn. Amidst all those two-strokes and scooters, we had the pull start guys, and they were racing up and down, up and down, up and down. When my pull start guys got going, I had to step up a little bit. So Vaughn won 2 heats. He won a $100 bill from me and from Joe's Minibike Reunion for holding up the pull start category. These guys came out strong in Vegas. I think my man DT Cooper was out there. Both of the guys that I mentioned from Chop Shop Minibikes, as well as Las Vegas Minibikes, they were out there. I'm not sure if they were riding or not, but we had quite a few. And look at, these are the bigger bikes. That bike with the red seat won some Zuma actions there. A lot of Zumas are out there. These bikes are available. Everybody's looking for Groms. Don't forget about there's Rudy on his two-stroke with Bing and Jack. It got a little cold, to say the least. We were up near the Amazon Prime warehouse next to the Clark County Detention Center, which unfortunately wasn't the first time we saw that place. But that's where we were. We rode from Carter Power Sports, which I believe is on South Decatur in Las Vegas. So if you go to Carter Power Sports on Google in Las Vegas, and then you go to Clark County Detention Center near the Amazon Prime, you see how far we went. It had to be 20 miles, and it was cool. But this is an example of SEMA Ignited. Actually, this is the year before, but we had a great time there. Many of you guys that were exhibiting on site, I showed you that we could be a part of all this. It just takes insurance money. But we can get inside those pits, and we could do stunting and show off our best stunters. We could do burnouts. We tried to get it done this year. I think it was a little bit too little, too late. But we ain't giving up, so it's going to be great. Steady Garage was out there. Kevin and Ray, thank you. In fact, I brought this up before. Those guys are always so instrumental because it's always one big account that helps you get the other ones. And Ray and Kevin were always there for me. They supported SEMA Ignited from the beginning, so thank you guys. They also were a part of a group of folks that put together one badass goodie bag for Joe's Minibike Reunion. It included some of the coolest things, the bandanas from Steady Garage, particularly those bendable metal mini bike kits that Go Power Sports put in there. Everybody got one of those diamond Joe's Minibike Reunion pins. And once again, one of those pins has a diamond in it. I just don't know when. So if and when you get one, let me know. The rest of it, guys, is check out the website, joesminibikereunion.com for whatever's going on upcoming on Joe's Minibike Reunion front. The podcast will still continue on. In fact, I've got a special edition with Day Day where he's going to take over as a host at one time this year. We'll do a Christmas special as well. Maybe we'll have some folks that are making a mark in this mini bike and mini moto hobby come on. I want to give a big thank you to everybody, again, who supported the show, who supports the podcast. We have some T-shirts that are available still. I think I've got just white, long sleeve, large or extra large. We'll send them to you $30, including shipping. I've got a few hoodies left. Those are $65, include shipping. How about that? The hats, those are $25 plus shipping. I don't know. If you want them, send us a note or just go to the Joe's Minibike Reunion website, go to gear, and you can purchase there. I'm going to photo dump a bunch of photos on joesminibikereunion.com shortly. Those of you who are watching on our Instagram page, JMBR Official, thank you for that. Also, hashtag JMBR Podcast on Instagram. For those of you that watch on YouTube, I think it's JMBR Podcast. If you can like or comment, I think they ask you to do that. I don't know. Same here. I may have missed some things, so before I go, I'm going to take a look at some of the comments. If there's anybody there making note, let's see here. Yeah, it looks like we're caught up, everybody. Ian, thanks for the kind words. Mark Denny, Rich Husan, Carl Lee, Charlie, missed you at the show. Hope you're holding it down in the AV. My boy Anthony Calandro, how are you doing? Albert, good. E, I want to thank you for all the good work. We'll catch up with you as well as we get towards the end of this new year. Not exactly sure when we'll have the next podcast. I bet it's somewhere between, let's just say, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Once again, we apologize for those of you who may not have given their trophy that is still due. Check me out at Joe at motormediainc.com. I'll be happy to help you out. You can call the office 818-275-4900 as well. Final thank to our sponsors. Pioneer Car Electronics, where we remind you don't break up with your car, upgrade it. And our friends over at Yoshimura since 1954. The only exhaust I use on my bikes are friends at Studs Racing, Go Power Sports, Go Kart USA, GTS, Hobbies, as well as all the folks that exhibited at the show. We appreciate the support there. Appreciate, again, all of our staff that helped us. We couldn't do it without you. Till the next time, guys, check us out at this Facebook page. Check us out online, too. A lot of the photos from SEMA Ignited are popping up on Google. Check out JMBR when you're looking at photos that'll be coming out. If you have photos that you captured or video from the event, send them to me. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time. It's been a good one. I'm Joe from Joe's Minibike Reunion. We'll see you the next time.
Minibike Show.